Hello, welcome to Movement Not Miracles. I'm Anna from Eat, Move, Be Happy. Movement Not Miracles is your bite-sized version of how to look after your posture, keep your joints mobile and ward off some of those aches and pains that we can get from sitting still in the same position for too long. Before we start, I just want to remind everybody that the first step, our online coaching program to help you set yourself up for success to healthier eating and healthier exercise habits. The next group starts on Monday and there are a couple of spaces left. So if people are interested, then check out the website www.eatmovebehappy.com and go and check out the first step, enroll, and we can get you all booked on. So, Movement Not Miracles. Today, slightly different version. I'm going to do a bit of a tutorial on sitting in a chair, particularly if you're, well, it can apply in any situation because what we tend to find is that we sit like this. And I'm going to show you some movement stuff that you can do whilst you're still sitting in your chair, just to stretch through your neck, your shoulders and your upper back, bearing in mind that staying sitting for long periods of time is not necessarily a good plan. So if you can, getting up and moving around is a good idea. So to start off with, just in case you can hear some noise in the background, it's actually the cat trying to get back into the room and I've shut the door, so you just have to wait. So what can happen sitting in our chairs is that particularly we sit back and we use the support to support our back, which might sound really blooming obvious, but my lower back here is not supported and I'm very round shouldered. So I'm sitting on the fleshy part of my bum. My spine is not in a neutral spine position. It's all slouched down at the bottom and I'm very round shouldered. And then particularly if I'm sitting and I'm doing some work at the computer, then you have your hands here like this and everything's rounded forwards, which over a long period of time can give you some, your muscles are not in the right position, so you can get some tension in the muscles in your shoulders and the top of your neck, into your neck and into your upper back, and it can cause some problems in your lower back as well. So all in all, it's not particularly good. So what we're aiming for is, if you can think of, one, it's good to have a chair with some decent support, but also it's good sometimes to sit away from the support and practice sitting nice and tall. So here I am sitting on the bones of my bottom, so I'm not sitting on the fleshy part of my bum. So I'm sitting on the bones of my bottom and my weight is evenly distributed between the left and the right. And rather than this, I'm thinking of, imagine somebody pulling you with a rope from the crown of your head to sit as tall as you can. So I'm thinking of lifting up out of my pelvis with my shoulders back and down. So my shoulders are not forward like this, but the minute you sit tall, it starts to bring your shoulders back anyway, but then you can do some extra work through your shoulder blades to bring your shoulders back and down. Now, what I also want you to be careful of is that as you sit tall, if you've got a spine like mine, then I can overextend in the base of my spine, in my lumbar region, and get a bit too much of a curve there. I don't know whether you can see that. If I show you how I would want to sit, so that's overextended, and then so my belly's pushed forward and I've got an extended arch down in my lumbar region. So if you're not careful, that can happen, which is also not particularly useful. But if we're sitting nice and tall in a nice neutral position, so I'm not overextending through my lumbar region, my spine is nice and tall, my shoulders are back and down, and that's the best position for our spine to be in. And if you think of the spine, is basically the solid foundation that everything else hangs off. So your pelvic girdle and your shoulder girdle is all attached to your spine. So if you can start with that bit get that bit in the right position, then you're on a step for success. I'm always going on about starting. Your starting position is your setup for success, and it's exactly the same with your posture. So let's think about, before we do any of the moves around the stretching and the mobility, make sure you're sitting with that spine in neutral, nice and tall, weight evenly distributed, sitting on the bones of your bum. And then to start off with a really simple one, you can get some tension through the muscles in the top of your shoulders and into your neck here, is just shrug your shoulders up to your ears and let them drop without changing the alignment of your spine. So when you shrug up, we don't want that to happen. So everything stays still and you shrug up and let them drop. Shrug up as much as you can and let them drop. And when they drop, let them drop as quickly as they can. So let gravity do its work. And just that movement can help release some of the tension in the muscles, the trapezius muscles in the top of your shoulders there and into your neck. So when you've done that a few times, you might want to take that then into a shoulder roll. So we've done these lots of times before. So an exaggerated shoulder roll all the way up, all the way down. And as you move your shoulders back and down, really squeeze your shoulder blades together. And that's going to encourage a nice stretch across your collarbones. Encourage that correct posture in your upper back. Remember, don't let that lower back arch whilst you're doing that. And you can do these without full arm extension to start off with. And then you can increase so that you've got full range of movement with your arms as well. So reaching up nice and tall, palms down. So your palms up as you come down and round, really squeezing those shoulder blades together. So just from those two movements, you should feel a little bit more movement and space through your shoulders and your upper back. Now I'm going to do a stretch down the side of your neck. So whichever side you are stretching, reach away and down with that arm. So this is my left arm, and I'm going to stretch, just tilt my head over to the right. Still sitting nice and tall. And then just release it. And then we'll try that once more on the same side. So reaching down first, and then reaching over. Don't force your neck. You're just going to reach, tilt your head so that you feel a stretch down this side, and breathe 5 breaths. And then release, and you can do the same on the other side. And as you're breathing, you can use this as a bit of mindful breathing as well. So you can use these stretches to calm your mind as well as relaxing through your body. My tummy just spoke to us then. It's lunchtime, it's getting hungry. Okay? I can't remember what I was going to do next now, and my machine has clicked off. We're going to stretch through our chest now. So again, make sure you are sitting away from the back of the chair, and you're just going to clasp your hands behind your back and rest them on your sacrum and in your lower back, and then you're going to bring your shoulders back and down and squeeze your hands together. And think of squeezing your shoulder blades together so you get a nice stretch across the front of your chest. When that happens, don't let that lower back arch, so you're still keeping that pelvis tilted to keep that neutral spine. So a nice stretch across the chest, because it's really easy when we're sitting like this and we're all hunched down for these muscles in our chest to shorten. So these shorten, which means that they feel stiffer. So stretching through the front, and they're going to pull everything in. So if we stretch across the muscles in the chest, then we've got more chance of our shoulders staying back and down. It all makes sense when you sort of add it all together, a bit like a jigsaw puzzle. So if we're going to stretch through the front of our chest to just help with our upper back that can get tight, you can stretch through your upper back by reaching. Again, don't let that lumbar region arch, but just reach forwards, and sometimes it's just nice to let your chin rest on your chest. And then bring your arms back into your shoulders. So you'll see the change in the shape of my back. So here my shoulder blades are stretching apart. So I can feel a nice stretch across all of the muscles in my upper back. And then I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together to bring my arms back into my shoulder joint. And we'll just do that one more time. And then just for a stretch through the lower back. So again, sitting nice and tall, and we've done this type of move either standing or sitting on the floor, but this move you can just think of sticking your bottom back towards the chair behind and then just folding forwards so that you're almost hugging your knees. And you're just going to get a nice bit of a stretch through the spine. You'll get some stretch through these muscles in your lower back. And then back to sitting nice and tall. And then finally, a bit of a twist. So seated twist, always good to do to keep your spine mobile, because it doesn't just move in that forwards and backwards plane. We can also twist through our vertebrae, and it's really easy, particularly in our upper back, in your upper thoracic region, for those vertebrae to get really, really stiff. So we need to be sitting nice and tall to start off with. You're going to put one hand across the opposite thigh and reach behind you, still staying nice and tall. Now, if the back of the chair's a bit high, you can reach a little bit lower down, but we're aiming to twist through the whole of the chest. So we want the chest pulling on that thigh, sitting nice and tall, and each time you breathe out, see if you can twist around a little bit more. And then we'll go to the other side. So again, you need to be sitting tall to get any sort of movement through your spine first. So grab hold of that thigh, twist round to get hold of the back of the chair. My back is really stiff this morning. Focus on what you can do. Twist round as much as you can. And I'm going to do that once more on each side, because the second time is always better. And last time, nice and tall first. As you breathe out, see if you can move a millimetre further round. Okay, so as ever, try and keep moving. So sitting in your chair there, just some of the things that you can do whilst you are seated in the middle of whatever you're doing. You don't have to do them all one after the other, you can mix and match them. Standing and walking around, if you can, is a really good idea, just to get everything else moving and to avoid that sinking down and slouching posture, which is so easy to do. So let me know how you get on, let me know what works, what doesn't work, and don't forget to check out the First Step coaching program. It's a 3-week program to set you up for success for eating and exercise habits. And please share the videos if you find them useful, so we can help other people just keep moving and stay as healthy as they can, particularly now that the winter nights are drawing in and we're going to be sitting still inside for longer because it's darker for longer and colder. So looking after yourself, staying healthy is even more important. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow.